He is insane, not in the metaphorical, genius kind of way. He is literally insane. His mind rushes back and forth too fervently, and he is always concerned with at least three issues at once. The pills, the little ones we cut and wrap in tender foods, are supposed to help with the epilepsy commanded by this cruel insanity of his. They are also supposed to shorten his life. At any moment, without warning, he could suddenly convulse and die. But that, his spontaneity, is what makes him unlike any other. I never know what he may do, partially because of the insanity, partially because he's bored. But I suppose that's my fault, keeping him confined in the backyard of a suburban house. It's a large yard, with a pool for him to use whenever he pleases, and lots of grass for him to run around in. It's not the rolling pasture he deserves, but for him it's home. He looks at me, his eyes drooping brown marbles, telling me this is enough. He's grateful, showing me with a kiss or a wag of his tail, but most of the time he is only thinking about one thing: sheep. We are his sheep. My mother, me, and the little brown and overweight dachshund that patrols our floors like a living, breathing wax buffer. He watches us intently, marking our moves, predicting our next ones, and squeezing each ounce of working bliss out of running circles around us without a sound. But there is one sheep that drives him to further madness. A fourth sheep, sleek and beautiful and reeking of pure evil. The cat. I am certain, in his mind, that the cat means us every intention of the word harm. Her yellow eyes plot anarchy. She sharpens her needle paws as she sings songs of mortal destruction with her meows. But they will never come face to face. She is barricaded, secluded from the household, by two large white doors on either side of the living room. Every day, without fail, he patrols these doors, dashing from one end to the other and back again in an endless cycle of hope. Hope that one day, against all odds, those doors will open. But he will die before that will happen. His steps grow weary and his breathing shallows. He sleeps more often than he used to. He weighs more. The herd begins to wander. The sheep begin to worry that their shepherd has left them. He is going to be 12 in 2 months. No longer does he chase my father as he mows the lawn. He lost his bottom teeth that way, biting the blades. Later, the veterinarian would say that if he dove at the blades at any other angle, his face would have been torn to shreds. My father says he wishes the dog was dead, that if he was, we wouldn't have to blockade the cat behind doors. We would be able to turn on lawnmowers freely. But I think that if my dog's face would have truly been torn apart that day, my father would have been deeply affected. There are some people who say that dogs cannot feel, that we humans merely supply their needs. But there is something abstractly real in the way he pursues the cat. He thinks of her as a danger, and to him his murder of her would be an act not of aggression, but of love. Some dogs, like the wax buffer, pick one person and latch onto them, in our case my mother, but my dog, the insane one, expresses his love in a different way. His nightly patrols are his way of protecting his flock. To think, if only we could be as determined as he is. To discover, if only sheep didn't need a shepherd. I didn't ask for him, I didn't choose him. As a gift he entered my life. That choice was made for me, but soon I will have a choice of my own to make. But his spontaneity breeds unpredictability, and the end for him will be as unpredictable as the rest of his life. For now he is sleeping, dreaming of the next tactic he will use to snag his fourth and most elusive sheep. I watch him, knowing that while he will not be here forever, the sheep will always keep moving. The flock will change, the colors of the wool and the sound of their cries different. But despite the ever-changing tide they wade in, they will never forget their shepherd.